welcome to Popcorn and Perspective. This is the place where we not only enjoy delicious popcorn, but also deep dive into the world of films. We're your host, Chantal,
And I'm Chris.
and we're here to share our insights on new releases and timeless classics. Get ready to experience movies like never before as we offer you our confident perspective. Welcome to today's episode. We're excited to take a quick look back at the 2025 Oscars and share our favorite moments, wins, and surprises that made the night unforgettable or forgettable. And we'll also dive into the heartfelt discussion about one of the Best Picture nominees, Nickel Boys, which I truly believe deserved the title of Oscar Darling. Let's explore what made these films and moments so special. But before we dive deeper into the films, you can follow me on X slash Twitter under underscore at underscore Akira XO and on Letterbox at Edna Mode.
And you can find me on Twitter and X, whatever you want to call it, and also TikTok under the name The Hazel Eyed Movie Guy. If you follow me on TikTok, don't be scared when you go there and no video is up yet. My procrastination has got the best of me, but I will be doing a review of the movie Mickey 17 later on today or tomorrow morning.
Which I cannot wait to see. It's like my timeline is just full of Mickey 17. I'm like, I'm tired of people. Like, y'all getting ready to ruin it for me. Like, give
Yeah,
me a
that's why I go.
second.
That's why I go see
Like,
them
give me
early
a
because
second.
every time I scroll on Facebook, every other post is a Mickey 17.
All right. Now that you know where to follow us, let's get into the rundown of the 2025 Oscars. Yes, we are a week late, but let's discuss the surprises, wins, and upset. For me, I was honestly underwhelmed by this award season. It just seemed that some of these movies that were up, I don't believe that they should have been up. Some of these movies that were up, they just didn't get like enough love for me. And then there was just some people or films that were just swept under that rug and just got ignored, like
Exactly.
just shut out completely. But let's get down to the
Exactly.
brass tacks. So, brother, what did you think of this year's Oscars?
Well, I've never been a watcher of these award shows because I feel far too many times it's more of a popularity contest instead of actually deserving actors and actresses winning. This being the first Oscar I've watched all the way through, I feel like the statement rings true even more. Though first, let me say that as expected, I was blown away by Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande in the opening Wicked performance. That was definitely a highlight of the night. That was a good one.
It was so
Uh,
good. It was just great.
yeah, that took the spot for me. Like I said, I don't really watch them, but when I popped that on, it just caught my attention for the rest of the night. And another bright spot before I dive into my disappointments, unfortunately, was well, the bright spot was Conan O'Brien. I think he kept the show lively, and his comedic delivery was on point the whole night. And
He was great.
I really loved it when they brought the fire department up there to give them shine for all the hard work that they do and did. So that was a very good spot. And then when they had them throw out the jokes, I think that was a good piece of clarity and humor right there for them also.
I believe.
Now,
I think.
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I'm like,
Go
I have
ahead.
to agree with you. I was gonna say I have to agree with you with like Cynthia Erivo and like Ariana Grande because it's like it was like already like known that they were gonna perform because of course they weren't gonna have anybody performing any other original songs this year, which I'm
Yeah.
kind of happy that they didn't because we'll get to that anyway. But I just love the fact that I love the fact that they opened it up as like I guess you could say like a tribute to the Wizard of Oz because in the Wiz because you have Ariana Grande who did Somewhere Over the Rainbow for
Mhm.
For the Wizard of Oz, and then when you had Cynthia Erivo, she came out and she did Home from the Wiz, which I'm like
Yeah,
I hope that audience realized what song she was singing because it was
I
like as soon
doubt
as I
they
heard
did.
it, I was like in love. Like I just enjoyed everything. But what I love the most about the entire performance is that it felt like you were actually watching the movie and not something that was actually live. Like they
Yeah,
sound that good that it made you feel like you were actually watching the movie, but really it was them. Like their voices like carries. Like it was just amazing to me. So it that was like one of my like favorite performances of that night. It was probably like my favorite performance of that night.
yeah,
And then, like you said, Conan O'Brien snapped. Like he was like the best choice
yeah.
for the Oscars because like we've been having like Jimmy Kimmel for like the last several years, and it was just like, dog, I'm just tired. It was just nothing was hitting. Like Like
Yeah,
nothing against Jimmy Kimmel. It's just that he's just tiring. Like it's like you just need a break. Like we need a new face. And
for somebody.
exactly. And I was happy that Conan O'Brien was like, yeah, like I'll do it. And he killed it the whole night. He was just amazing all the way through. Like how Drake get dragged all the way to the Oscars from just like all the way through. It's like from last year to now, like you're already being dragged by Conan O'Brien at the Oscars.
And
Like
that
it
was
just kept
so
going.
ballsy. That was
And I
so
loved it.
ballsy. That was so ballsy of them to do that, of Conan to do that. Like, because when he said it, I was like, oh my God. And then he was like, don't worry, I'm lawyered up. And that just took it right
Exactly.
there. That
I
made it
love
even
that part.
funnier.
Loved it. And that made it so perfect. And then I think those are like my highlights. And then another highlight of mine, I think, like you said, was like the fire department when they got out there and they like
Yeah.
threw out the jokes. And I just love how everybody's like delivery was like pretty great. And so it's like so like whatever the joke was, it's like you can't put that on them because it's like, hey, it's like we kept you
Exactly.
safe.
Y'all, some of y'all got your house because of
So,
me. So just laugh and let it go. Don't take it to heart. And
and so I love that. I love that whole thing. So I thought that was pretty great.
now onto my, I call this category my loved slash well deserved category. So Zoe Saldana winning Best Supporting Actress for Amelia Perez, absolutely loved. And I didn't love the movie too much, but
I don't think a lot of
Zoe,
people love the movie too much.
okay, I didn't think it was just me, but
No, that movie was trash, straight trash.
okay, okay, I didn't want to put that out there because I thought it was a love by everybody. Maybe I was missing something, but I see I caught it forehead. But Zoe becoming the first American of Dominican origin to win an Academy Award was amazing, and her acceptance speech sealed the deal of love for me because it was so heartfelt and just touching. That was one of the best ones I heard that night. And then we move on to Best Supporting Actor, Kieran Culkin. I caught that one as soon as I finished watching A Real Pain. Like last month, I was like, he's got to win something
Well,
because
I
he,
mean, he's been sweeping the entire award season since last year, so I was like, it was a given.
yeah, yeah, they had to because he gave a great performance and his acceptance speech. It was funny. Some people are calling he saying he blew his moment, but it's his time. Let this man say what he want to say. He told the
I
joke.
love.
Yeah,
I
exactly about
literally went on. It's literally a joke that literally went on from last year, from when, like he said, like when he won his Emmy for Succession, which is
yeah,
an amazing show, by the way. And I just love that he kept that ball rolling, and I just
yeah.
love like his relationship with his wife. Like it was one of my favorite moments because I'm a fan of his anyway, so I was just happy to see him just to go this entire award season and sweeping. I mean, it may not happen again. That's fine. But I just love that this is his moment and he deserves it.
And I think he doesn't need it. Like he's a good actor. He's a very good actor. I don't. I think this was like a defining, not yeah, defining moment for him because it's an Oscar. It's a big award, and he got it for Best Supporting Actor, which is a very big category. So I think this. I think he was already on the map, but this stamps it even more. And I don't think his acceptance speech downs his
No, no,
performance
it
or his
doesn't.
acting chops
No,
or whatever. Like two
that's
people are
literally
getting
him.
yeah, people are getting too drawn into it. Just like it was his moment. He had a good time. But I'm also a big fan of Jesse Eisenberg, who wrote, A Real Pain, obviously, and starred
Yes,
in it. So I'm happy to see his work getting noticed because he was, pivotal in writing the script, pivotal in picking Calkin to star in it with him. So I really like that. And one that another person that people are downing because of his acceptance speech is Adrian Brody for Best Actor. And The Brutalist was a complicated film, being it was over 3 hours long, being that it dealt with so many subplots and things. But Brody gave a brilliant performance. I felt all his pain, I felt all his pleasure, I felt all his failures, his success. So he absolutely deserved this award. But his acceptance speech was a little mumbo jumbo, but it's once again, it's his time. let him shine.
it
And
was just too much. He just needed to get off the stage. He wasn't talking about nothing. Just like
yeah,
you said, it was a bunch of mumbo jumbo. It's like, dog, you've been here before. This is not your first win.
that's
It's
what he
like,
said.
hurry up and get off the stage. Like you said, you've been here before. Okay, move on.
That's what got me. Like when he said it, I was like, oh no. So you know the etiquette. You know what to do. You know you're not supposed to
Exactly.
be up
Get
there for
off
three
the
hours.
stage.
And then he told the band, hey, cut that. I still got more to say. Like, oh, that that was crazy. I was like, wow.
Absolutely unnecessary. Like, bro, get off the stage. Like,
That
yes,
one,
that was just a lot. It was a lot.
yeah. And then my last one in the love slash very deserving category was Paul Tazwell for best costume design for Wicked, the first
Yes.
black man to win an Academy Award for costume design. I absolutely love the fact that he received a standing ovation like that. And when the camera panned to the crowd, the one person screaming the loudest was Colin Domingo. You could hear him saying bravo and well done. I absolutely love that because I'm a fan of his, and to see him standing up, clapping, just yelling and raving like that was great.
I
Even
I
though
just
I
think
was a little, oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna
Oh,
say I just think it was crazy how long it took
yeah,
for a black man
to
to do
win,
it,
yeah,
but for but it was a black woman who was like the first one, who was Ruthie Carter,
yeah,
for Black Panther. But I just think how crazy how the time, like those time, like that was like 2018. This is 2025, like,
yeah,
or 2024, and it's like, why is it taking them so long,
to get the
to win?
recognition they
Like,
deserve.
it's
Yeah,
like, what's going on? Because it's like we know there's other the costume designers who's been nominated, who should have been won. Like, so it's
yeah.
just wild to me that it's taking this long for them to get recognized. But what was wild to me is that I didn't even have a clue that the designer for Wicked was black. Like, I
I
had
didn't either.
no idea until
I didn't
he
know. I
started
didn't know
winning
it was.
stuff.
I didn't know it was black, and I figured it was a white woman that be doing it. But and
I was just
then I
like
look back.
flabbergasted.
I look back on his other works, and I'm like, why hasn't he won it before? But this, like I said, this is a great accomplishment, especially going up against Nosferatu.
Right.
So I thought going in Nosferatu would win it hands down, but I'm very happy with the Wicked winning also, with Paul Tazwell taking it.
Yeah, because I was like really surprised because he was not. I think he was not. Yeah, he was nominated for Wicked or not Wicked. Sorry, he was nominated. One,
Yeah,
duh. I meant West Side Story in
yeah.
2022.
That's what
Like,
I
I didn't even realize he like come on. Like,
yeah,
I
that's what I
did not
said.
realize. It's just it amazes me. But I'm like, congratulations to him. Like, that's definitely something that's monumental, and something
Yeah,
that
oh
means
yeah.
something to us, because
Huge.
we always root for everybody black.
Is an accomplishment that definitely 100% needed to be acknowledged. And I'm glad, I'm happy
Exactly.
he said it because I didn't know. And I don't think many people in the crowd knew. And once he said it, it was like, oh man, this is an accomplishment. I'm
Exactly.
here to see this. And that's when Colin Domingo hopped up like, yep, bravo, congratulations.
I love it. So
All right.
so for me, like, my wins, like, I think for me, mines were pretty much like close to yours. I just was kind of upset because I was kind of like rooting for Coleman Domingo for best
Yeah.
actor. Like, for him to be back to back nominations, like 2 years in a row, which is
Yeah.
wild. It's like we're gonna see him. We're gonna see him up
Yeah.
there on that stage one day. I just hate that it wasn't this time. I was also kind of like rooting for, Timothy Chalamet as Bob Dylan. I mean, because for someone who worked on a film for 5 years and like got everything down to key, like mannerisms, like playing guitar, harmonica, whatever, I'm like, he did the work. But for me, it's
Yeah.
like he's still young, but I'm like, for someone who's like not even 30, and his filmography is like stacked, and it's
Oh
just,
yeah.
and I feel like he should have got it for Call Me by Your Name, but I'm like, it is what it is. It's like, I'll take it, but I'll take the win for Adrian Brody. The other one that I love, like I already said, Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain. I was like,
Yeah.
even though his category was stacked as well too, I already
Oh yeah.
knew it was like it was gonna be his in the bag. Like, from the beginning of the award season, it was like, already it was just like you were just hearing his name. It was just like boom, 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 boom. It was like Oscars is like you already knew in the bag.
Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised, when Robert Downey Jr. said his name. I was just like, I was very happy. I really wasn't surprised about, Zoe Saldana for winning for Amelia Perez. I was like everybody else. I was like, this is for like Avatar, like this is for like, for this
Yeah.
over here. Like, she getting this award for a mediocre film that was not even worth anyone's time. Let me tell you, Netflix definitely dropped the bag on this one, but it is what it is. Like, give that girl her win. I'm like, I don't know if she'll like be able to, come back from that, but it is what it is. Like, kudos to her. If anybody, I was kind of going for Monica Barrow for playing Joe Baez
Oh,
in A
yeah,
Complete
and
Unknown.
yeah,
I thought she was great in that as well. And then I think Felicity Jones could have like edged her way in there from The Brutalist, but it was like she was just, for me, I just felt like they kind of like snuck her in there. It was just like, okay, it's like, why didn't y'all push for her? But then it's like she only showed up like in the back half of the film. So, but
yeah.
I still think she was great in it anyway.
Oh
The only
yeah, yeah,
one,
definitely.
the only one I was kind of like disappointed that was in this category was Isabella Rossellini in Conclave. Let me tell you, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but
Yeah,
if you did, you can see that that woman wasn't even in it for 10 minutes, and
yeah.
it wasn't even for one scene. That's the crazy part. It drives me insane how someone can get nominated for not even being in a movie
A
that
split
long.
second,
I'm like, I
a
can
pinch of time.
exactly, and I could tell you who could have, like, someone else could have took that spot. Like, why did they
Yeah,
give that to her? Like, that to me had me just dumbfounded. But for another one, I was kind of surprised. Like, with the technicals, like, I kind of figured like they were gonna give Wicked something, because it's like it wasn't gonna get like any of the big categories, which
yeah,
like I'm not surprised by. Dune 2 getting, best visual effects, I wasn't surprised by, because I mean that movie was great, but I was kind of upset that it beat out Alien Romulans, only because their stuff was pretty much practical in some,
yeah,
like compared to what Dune was. But either way, I'll take the win for Dune.
yeah. That was
For
still a good one.
that one was like really good, but I also was kind of like in, I guess you could say, I'm like in the middle with like best makeup and hairstyling. Like, the Substance was great, but
Oh yeah,
Nosferatu though, like I couldn't even tell you that was Bill Skarsgård as as the vampire. As I
not
like
one bit.
like the eyes always gives it away, but that right there, could not tell you that was him. Not one bit. Like,
Yeah,
it blew me away.
I would have been perfectly fine. And I actually, like you said, I expected Nosferatu to take that because, like you
Yeah,
said, that's just a masterpiece of artwork right there. What they did to that man, like it's
right.
just
I could not tell you that was him. Like, it's just kudos to the to the makeup and hairstyling team. Like,
oh
y'all did
yeah,
y'all thing on that, but it was like, I'm like, they still got nominated. They got in there somewhere, but I'll still take that win for the Substance. So like my kind of thing was for like the up, like it wasn't an upset. It wasn't an upset at all. It was more of a surprise. I'm like, was Best Actress Mickey Madsen
oh yeah,
for
yeah,
Honora. Like, that one was a surprise to me. Like, kudos to her. Like, yeah, she did her thing in that movie, but I mean, just looking at this her category, the only person I could see knocking her out was probably Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here, and that was
hmm,
pretty much it. But going back, looking at the award season, even though there were some times where she wasn't winning, but she was also still being seen as the most rewarded actress of this award season for this movie. And
yeah,
I'm like, now that one right there was my biggest upset, was Honora getting Best Picture, because I'm looking at the list too. So it's like in between, it's like you got her playing this role, which is, she's good in this movie now, but the movie, I'm like, and we were like all worried about Amelia Perez getting that big one. It's like we should have been
yeah.
paying attention to Honora.
And what had me crazy as far as that is, it was 10 masterful, well, excuse me, it was 9 masterful movies in that category. And then you had Honora. To me, Honora was the weakest of the bunch. Like
Oh
it was.
no, I would have to say Amelia Perez was the
Oh
weakest
yeah,
out
yeah.
of
I'm sorry.
those.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
I
Excuse me.
was
Yeah,
like that. Yeah, I was
I
like, don't
take that
forget
back.
that one.
I take that back. Yeah, I do take that back. I'm sorry for that. Amelia
I
Perez
was like,
was
hold
the
on.
was the. See, I didn't. I disliked that movie so much I forgot it was even there. But I think okay, above Amelia Perez is Honora, and like I
Yes,
think that story just doesn't like to me when you see a Best Picture, it's something that just grabs you and takes hold of you, and you just think about it for so
right,
that movie didn't provoke any thought for me besides, okay, I hope this is almost over. Because to me, it was 45 minutes of sex and partying. Then it was 35 minutes of a hide and go seek game. They were just looking for the guy. And
right,
then it was just talking. Like, and then the thing that got me is all through the movie, she was tough. She was tough. Like, I'm gonna get mine. I'm gonna get mine. But then she didn't get anything. Well, at the end,
right.
because that guy gave it to her. But after that, she didn't get anything from being tough. Like they were like Do you have a house? Do you have a car? We'll take it off. She didn't have any of that, but she still punked out. And I just
Right.
feel like Madison's character, like she did okay, but I don't think she did Oscar worthy good in that movie. Like I think because she dropped the F bomb a million times, people just got fascinated by that. But I don't think she did any. She was gritty and ghetto, like the character called for. But I feel like anybody could do that. Like Demi Moore should have just walked out because that was her award, hands down. And I think this was one of the popularity contests right here. And
Yeah,
another,
because
go ahead.
I just feel like with the Nora, I'm like you were saying, I have to agree with that too. Like half the first part of that movie is just like, oh, like her and Yvonne, like, sleeping together, they're partying, blah blah blah, they get married, whatever. And then it's just like a goose chase, like they're trying to find Yvonne after they got to get their, the marriage annulled because his parents are like, oh no, you're not marrying this girl, blah blah
I
blah.
gotta
And I'm
go
just
see.
like,
Yep.
and it's just like, bro, I was just sitting there just scratching my head, just waiting for the movie to like hurry up. Like it was just too much going on for too long. Like,
Yeah.
and then there was just like one scene where I was just like, you have like a non, you have someone who's not black using the N word. I'm like, does nobody like click? I'm like, that one catch. Like, it literally hit. Like, as soon as I heard it, I was like, okay, so one, I'm like, why is that even in the movie? Two, the
Exactly.
other one was that whole scene because I think they got script too, right? I think they
Yeah,
got
I was gonna
original.
talk
The
about
other
that.
one
Yep.
was original. Yeah, and
Original
like
script, which
that when that whole scene when she was like, you have basically like you have rape me eyes or whatever, and like and he was just saying like, well, I'm not a rapist, and she was like, no, and she called him the F word, and it was just like that. It was just a lot that was going on, and
yeah.
then like them talking about like, oh, like it was enough. Like it was just too much, and like you said, like it was just like I just feel like she just didn't hold herself up with enough respect because it's like she was just doing a little too much too fast
Yeah.
and for it to blow up in her face the way it did, which was
And
wild.
like you said, John Baker, he won for original screenplay,
Yeah.
and it doesn't scream original screenplay. It like when I hear original, I hear something. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a different definition to the Academy. But to me, when I hear original, it's something that we have not seen before. Pretty Woman was a movie about a sex worker who found a rich person. We saw
Right.
that. Showgirls, we saw sex workers having sex, strippers having sex. We saw that in the North, so that's not original. So the good majority of the film was not original. Like I said, original to me is something that has never been seen, a new look. And the movie that should have won is The Substance. That is a
Right.
new look on how we see ourselves, how we age, how women see themselves, how the world see women, how the entertainment industry is just okay, the now product, and once you be past your now prime, it's over with. So I mean, that's original. And
Well, I was getting ready to say, because like I kept seeing an interview that kept going down my timeline where actress Cheryl Lee Ralph, she said it the best way. She said the fastest way to an Oscar is on a pole.
oh,
So she was just basically saying, she said they told people over and over again, like she's been telling people the fastest way to get the Oscar is either on a pole or sex sells. It's like literally sex sells. Like that's what it is because when you think about it, like those certain movies do get nominated. It's like
yeah,
it's something about the movies that they love, and it's just like we may hear this story before, but it's just something that it's like that people can't get enough of. You know what I mean?
yeah, true. Yeah, that's a bar too. That's a strong one. The fastest way to an Oscar is on the pole. That explains it right there.
Before we get down to it, brother, was there any?
Say it again. All right, we had a little bit of technical difficulty right there. Do apologize for that. Kind of froze up a little bit. Ask your question one more time.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you now.
Okay, perfect. I said, was there anything else that you wanted to speak on with the Oscars?
Yeah, Flow winning Best Animated Feature.
Yes.
That kind of got me. I did enjoy Flow. It was a good piece of animation with no dialogue. That's what like I said, my attention span is like a squirrel with a shiny toy. So if you keep me locked in but don't say nothing through the whole movie, you got me. So it was very good and it definitely deserved to be nominated. But The Wild Robot should have won. That was a heartbreaking, joyful tearjerker right there. And I feel like that one should have won it.
I have to agree. I did love the Wild Robot. Like the Wild Robot was really good. That was actually my first movie that I watched this year, and I like fell in love with that movie. I just did not expect that it was gonna be like a tearjerker, but it was so good. Unfortunately, I have not seen a Memoir of a Snail, but I had seen the other animated films. If anything, if the Wild Robot did not win, I was happy with Flo because Flo did keep my attention because I was real surprised. I was like, hold up, I'm like, this movie has no words, no
Yeah.
nothing. I'm like, but I love that we had to. What is that word that I'm thinking of? There's a word for it. We had to. Either way, we literally had to. There it is. Rely on their expressions, like the animals' expressions, like their feelings and emotions, just by their expressions and the way they move. Like that was
Yeah.
all that we could work with, and I actually it kept my attention. And I'm not even gonna lie, it did make me tear up at the end just a little bit. But yeah, it was a phenomenal movie. Even mom, she loves it as well. Like she catches herself watching it whenever it's on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I and for it being like the first, I think Lativia film that like
And
ever.
yeah.
Yeah, I love that, and it's like congratulations to them. I think
Yeah.
that was really cool for them. So
Yeah.
I
That
think that
was a
was like a
bright
great
spot.
win.
It was international and independent. So yeah, that was a great one.
Yeah. Well, did you have anything else?
No, just Honora didn't deserve any of the Oscars that it won. I'm just gonna put that out there one more time. I may get a tattoo of it, but
Oh my
just
God! Don't go too far. Don't go too far
Honora,
into the deep end.
big Honora shouldn't have won. But no, I'm just playing. But yeah, I think anybody who worked on Honora, if you like Honora, more power to you. I love it for you. But it wasn't for me.
So I hope that the 2026 award season gives us much more to look forward to. Wishing on a wing and a prayer. But let's get down to the moment we were waiting for, the Best Picture winner in my eyes, Nickel Boys. Before we give you our perspective, here's the synopsis of the film. Elwood Curtis' college dreams are shattered when he's sentenced to Nickel Academy, a brutal reformatory in the Jim Crow South. Clinging to his optimistic worldview, Elwood strikes up a friendship with Turner, a fellow black teen who dispenses fundamental tips for survival. So, this film also explores the segregation and abuse of the black and brown kids received from their white counterparts at the same academy. It also shows perseverance, dignity, and repressed trauma, and it is done powerfully and subtle. So, brother, what did you think about this film?
I absolutely love this film. I'm glad that you saw it and then put a review of it up on Facebook because I didn't know too much about it at all. I heard the title, but I hadn't watched any previews or heard too much about it because it was a limited release. I think one theater that was like an hour or two away from here is the only one that played it, and I thought it was a comedy, but I quickly
Oh
learned.
no.
Yeah, I quickly learned that it was not a comedy and that it was a deep part of our history. It was just amazing, the cinematography, how the camera movement was based on first person's perspective, and it was powerful performances by Ethan Hersey, how you say his last name, the one who played Elwood, and Brandon
Uh,
Wilson, who played Turner. They both delivered in depth and authenticity to the character. I can talk a little bit, y'all, but I felt like the story was powerful, but it could have been a little more powerful had they shown a little more of the graphic detail that they told us about. Like, I'm from the Mimi Till kind of mindset. Like, they won't know unless I show them. And I feel like in the movie they had those two buckles to either tree where they would tie the kids up and then beat them right there with their arms stretched out. I'm not saying show the whip hitting and all that, but show the build up to it. Like, show the gratitude of it, because people can watch this movie and be like, oh, that was terrible, and then go away, like, oh, that was terrible. But if they showed that, they would go away and be like, oh my God, I can't believe human beings did this, because it's becoming too forgotten. And I feel like if you make this kind of movie, then make the movie. Like, don't sugarcoat it. Make the movie. Don't, of course, you still got guidelines and stuff you have to follow, but go as far as you can with it. Like in the movie, they told us that a grave site was found actually not too long ago with millions of bodies in it. You don't got to show me burying a kid, but show me you walking a child to the hole or whatever. Like, and I actually hate that they make these kind of movies, but like I said, if you're gonna make it to prove to us what happened, then show us what happened.
See, and for me, I'm the quite opposite. Like this movie was done beautifully without having to show any of like any violence of any other sort. It was enough to like get his point across. Like there was like a particular scene where it was like the two boys, they're going into a room and it's locked and you can just hear this fan running and it's like that was enough right there. And then it's like you can hear the screams. That was enough right there to know that was something that was going on. And then it's like the one boy comes out, and then it's like we go in and we see Elwood's perspective of like him going into the room, and we already know he's about to get strapped up to this like what I guess you could say a saddle or whatever it was, and
Yeah,
you
that's
knew
what I
it
was
was
gonna
getting
say. A
ready to happen.
saddle.
And so it was just it that was enough right there. And then like some of the scenes, like there was just little tells like that there was stuff that was going on with these boys. Like it was just it was just depressing how it's like you can just see like from the different perspective from like their white counterparts to like the black and brown boys like what they had to go through compared to what their other part counterparts had to go through. It was
Yeah.
completely the opposite. And just like the whole scene where one of the boys he had to throw a fight and he didn't even realize he had to throw the fight because it was just one of those moments he's like lost in an adrenaline and he's just like, oh, I'm gonna beat this kid. Not realizing like
Was the
something
second round. He
something
was supposed
something
to.
could have happened and it was a mistake. And it's like without even knowing what happened to him, it's like you already know what's gonna happen to him. And for me, I just feel like these kind of movies, this movie, like just from seeing everything from the one person's perspective, seeing how they felt, like just like every little emotion you can just feel within like each scene. Like this is like the first time where I watched the movie and I just was just sitting there just thinking about it. Like it was just I don't know what it was, but it was just like one of those moments where it was just like, whoa, like I can't believe they like actually did that and like without giving anything away. We're trying to be spoil free as much if anybody haven't
Exactly.
seen this. Just the ending part alone, when it
Yeah.
finally clicked
Yeah.
in my brain when I found out what actually happened, I was just like, like, are you like this is wild. And it's just crazy how this story in like you said like not even long ago they're still finding
Yeah.
these babies out here in these graves. Like it's just sad that it's like it's our history, but I'm happy that this story was told. I just think that I don't I think for me I think this film right here should have been like on everybody's radar. Like
Yeah.
everybody and they mama need to see this movie. Like
I know.
for this movie just to sit at getting one nomination, I think it was just one nomination that I think they
Yeah.
got.
Uh-huh.
No, they actually got two. They actually got two nominations
Oh.
for so they got adapted screenplay because this is
Oh.
based off of a book, and then of course best picture. To me, this film should have been up there with cinematography.
Yeah.
Like everything, like every single scene, like it was just beautiful. Like everything about it, it was just nothing short of just captivating. Like you're just catching like every single layer of the storytelling just by seeing through like the main person's eyes. Like when because it was just funny because I was just like, wait, I'm like, so we're not ever gonna see, whoever the other person is who's talking to that person.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, yes, it's like we're not gonna see two people on screen like carrying dialogue. Like we're actually feeling like we're in that person's shoes as they're like living their day by day, trying to survive in this academy that literally does not take care of them, just brutalizes them because they can. And so it's just watching them trying to survive and trying to navigate their harsh realities, and it's just the same things that we have to do day by day still, but it in a way, I guess you could say like the film does give you hope at the end, even though it is like bittersweet. It's
Yeah.
just the film is really bittersweet. Like
And the
I
ending,
yeah, it was just
it,
like that whole ending. It was just because
it
it was
threw
like
me.
throwing me off. Like it like even me sitting there like having a conversation because it's like you're watching Elroy or not Elroy, sorry,
It would, yeah.
Elwood and Turner, and it's just like when we see older Elwood, I'm just like, wait a minute, I'm like something's not right, and then it's like I was just like it just kept throwing me off throughout the whole movie because I just kept
Yeah.
saying it like something's not right, something's not right, something's not right, and
Because
then
I spent the whole movie like, okay, everything's gonna be all right. He got to go
right,
through this stuff. He got to go through this terrible conditions,
right,
but obviously, from what we seeing, everything is gonna be all right. Like in the whole movie, I'm just
right,
like, all right, Elwood, come on, you got it. Just make it. Just make it. Just make it. Like get to where I think you're going, and then
right.
it's just him and Turner, and it's just back and forth, and just so many events come, and it like you said, it's a roller coaster of emotion, up and down, and cinematography, like you said, like the train going and the skyline and
Yeah,
the horse or the mule in the school, like it all points to stuff. And I
and
actually
I
had to
just
watch.
love
I watched it twice to pick up on everything because there's so many things to catch.
yeah, it's like I love the scene like when Elwood is young and he's like standing in front of the window and it's like all the TVs and it's like you
Yep,
see his
yep,
reflection through, the window because it's like we don't
yeah,
know what he looks like.
yeah,
Like we have no idea what he looks like until we see his reflection through the window and
yeah,
just and then like you said, like the whole train ride scene, that was just amazing. And then like, like the intercutting between, the times and everything. Like we're going
yep,
from like the 60s to like the 70s, 80s, 90s, all the way to the 2000s. So it's just
yeah,
like you just seeing like the stark contrasts of like them like how their lives were and like how the outside world was still going on and they had to come back to that and had to
yeah.
like like refunction their brain like okay like this is the real world, this is what I gotta do and just seeing older Elwood and like seeing how he now moves and lives his life and then seeing one of the boys from the
Yeah,
academy
exactly.
like
Yep.
that whole scene right there in itself because I was like wait a minute I was just like that whole scene right there and then like they're having that conversation and the conversation is just it's a little tense because it's like you have Elwood and then the one I
The
cannot
trumpet
think of his
guy.
name. I think
Trumpet.
it's like his name is Chicky Pete. I think it was,
Yeah. So,
and he was like asking him about that stuff and whatnot. He was just like just telling him like you remember everything that happened and blah blah blah. And, he was just like I don't really want to talk about that because that was like a hard time in
that's
their life.
trauma. Yeah.
It's like straight trauma for them. So it's like you don't know, and so it's like you don't know what kind of PTSD like whatever that person is going through and then even when he asked, Elwood, he was like, "Hey, like, have you heard from like, oh boy, that you were with?" He's like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." That
Yeah.
right there, I was just like, I'm like, is he talking about Turner? Like, what happened? Like
Yeah. Exactly. Like who?
you're just like, what's going on? Like what happened? Like, what really went down? And so, it was just like so much going on, but it moved just beautifully. Like
Oh yeah. It flowed. It flowed.
it just
Yeah.
flowed like so well because I was just like, oh, I'm like, I just don't want to like watch something where it's just gonna drain me like completely because they have made so many movies that that's just like based on like the Jim Crow South, just
Yeah.
anything that deals with Black history. It's just just the violence of it all and just the trauma of it all. It's just like I don't want to be physically drained. But thankfully with this movie, I was kind of thankful I wasn't fully drained, like to where I would have to like, okay, I need to watch something else to make me ha ha ha. I
Yeah.
need to laugh. Like I don't want to feel just bad all day because this movie just brought me down. But the movie did not bring me down. This movie just it was just it just stayed like I said, it stayed with me. It made me think just like wow, like this movie was really told and it was told beautifully. It was just a film I believe that everyone should see. This movie right here is if not the best film of 2024. I don't care what these jabroni say, talking about Anora being the best film of 2024. I don't care about somebody saying that The Brutalist was the best movie of 2024. I don't Amelia Perez, F all that. No.
Definitely couldn't have been
Nickel
in.
Boys was the best film of 2024. Look,
I
y'all
think
can
like they
argue with a wall. Like, I don't care. Like, look, if you have another best picture, look, you can have it. But me, Nickel Boys should have been the best picture. It just makes me feel like this film did not get the love that it deserved. Especially like you said, it was just an limited theatrical release. I didn't even know about the movie until it was starting to get rave reviews, and then it's like,
yeah.
"Ooh, let me see if I can find it playing here." It was not playing anywhere near me, so it really hurts when you cannot see a film because it's not playing where you live.
Especially one that gets nominated for one of the biggest awards in
Exactly.
the Academy.
Thank
So
you.
I have no idea why this got such a limited preview showings, because I think this would have done gangbusters in the movies, because it, like you said, it flowed, and it wasn't draining, but it was educational. Like it's something that you might not want to be educated about, but it's so much of an attention grab, and it holds you the whole movie that you have no choice but to be educated on it. Because once the movie was over with, I went down a rabbit hole for like an hour and a half, typing and finding out everything I could about this. And it just was, like you said, it was done beautifully. And I think it could have been a little more attention grabbing. It didn't need to be. Let me put that out there. It didn't need to be more attention grabbing to be a great film, because it's already that. It just could have been. Let me say that, because I think before, when I said it, you felt like it needed to have it to be great. No, it could have been. It could have done that, but it was so disrespected by not going to every theater, because they had. I'm sure every theater around the world could have put it in. It's not like 75 movies come out of Friday, so they had plenty of space. I just don't understand why. That's a question that I would love to know.
Yeah, that's like my main thing. Is like I understand it's an indie film. It like, but it still needed that rollout. Like even during like the award season, like you said,
Yeah,
like if you got a movie that's up for an Oscar, it doesn't matter if it's up for whatever. Like if your film is up for anything in the award season, you need to start throwing these movies
and
into these
so
theaters
people can
so
see
people can
them.
go see them. That's like the main thing that's like upsetting, is that's why it's like you're not getting enough people to see these movies. That's why these movies are not getting nominated. That's why it's like these films are not getting the love that they deserve. It's because they're either getting limited releases or they're going straight to streaming. Because
Streaming, yeah,
that's
and
how
that's
I
hurting.
ended up seeing this movie. That's how I ended up seeing Nickel Boys, is by
Yeah,
it being released on streaming. And then the next thing I know, it's on TV. I was like, so you're telling me I could have just waited to do,
to see
and
it.
that's the upsetting part. It's like
Yeah,
these kind of films to me. That's why I couldn't see I'm Still Here, because I'm Still Here was not playing here.
yeah. I unfortunately have not seen I'm Still Here too, and I've
And
been
that's the
I've been
last film
dying
that
to
I need
see
to
it.
see.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen all of them except that one. And I
That's
looked,
the last one.
like I said, I looked for Nickel Boys. It was playing 2 hours away. Unfortunately, I couldn't drive 2 hours away to go see a movie. And then I looked for I'm Still Here, and it was nowhere, nowhere. Like I was like, how is that possible? Because that is how the Oscars and award shows get their viewership. Like if I fall in love with a movie, I'm going to be more in tune to the award shows to see, okay, maybe everybody else loved the movie as much as me and it gets an award. But if I don't know about a movie and you're promoting it at the Oscars, then it's not going to make me want to jump to watch.
Well, I mean, for me, I'm like, I'm just gonna watch these award shows regardless because
Yeah,
I just love movies. Period. But I just think that with these kind of movies, it's like they need the members to watch these films, because what's crazy is that you have the members for the Academy, but then you have these articles coming out telling us that you have members who don't watch these movies because either A, they're too long and boring, or B, someone that they know or like a friend of theirs may be in the movie, they'll watch the movie. But if their
yeah,
friend ain't in that movie, they're not gonna watch the movie. to me, I'm like, what kind of mindset is that? Like, someone was literally did not watch Doom Part Two because they found the first one to be long and boring. Okay, yeah, the first one is a little long and boring, but it was a filler to get to
Yeah,
the second part to Dune, and that is the best part. Is
that
the
is the
second movie?
great one. That is the
It's
great
like
one.
straight
I
out the
felt the
gate.
same way. I
As soon
felt
as
the
they
same
started
way.
that, as soon as they started that movie, I was like, I'm in. I was just
Yeah,
like, I was in my seat, just salivating at the mouth, like this is like so good. Like when they start just like floating in the air, I was like, come
yeah,
on.
yeah,
And like they just, it's like, now this is how you start a movie, because it's like literally they're the two movies are just one big long movie. That's what they are. So
yeah,
it's just
yeah,
like, because the second part literally picks off where the first part ends at. So it's
yeah,
like,
exactly.
but I just think it blows my mind that you will literally have these people who are actual members of the academy, and they will let you know, like, hey, this is why this person didn't get nominated. This is why this movie didn't get nominated. Or this is why, this is why, this is why, this is
And
why.
that's
It's
not
always
fair.
some, and it's
That's
so
not.
stupid. Like it's so stupid. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I literally Googled how to become an academy, academy member, because it's like
Yeah,
I would love to be that kind of person who gets to sit and watch movies all day. Like,
exactly.
I would love to do that, to be able to be like, okay, this person gets this because that's why. Like, I want to be that kind of person that gets to be able to be like, let me give you guys the consideration of why this movie should be nominated. Like this is why like certain movies do not get nominated. This is why certain actors don't get nominated, because you just have members who just don't want to do their job, and I'm like, dude,
And
like this
that's
is
the key thing
upsetting.
right there. That's the key thing. It's your job. So you have a responsibility to watch everything.
Right.
Like if you got to fill 10 slots for the best picture and you only watch 7 other movies and then you let other people just pick the other, that's not fair to anybody, to the viewers, to the actors, to all the people that put in the work to do the movie. That's like me being a mailman, but I don't like delivering on this side of the street, so only the people on this side of the street going to get the mail. No, it's my job to deliver everything. So that
Right.
just doesn't make sense. And the people who do that should be kicked out of the academy. They need to bring people in who can sit down and be unbiased to their friends, unbiased to stuff. Like, go see something you might not, that you normally might not watch. You could love it, but
Exactly.
you never know if you
Exactly.
don't see it.
Exactly. You got to think outside the box, which is why I was just like shocked that this film did get nominated 2 times, Nickel Boys,
Yeah,
for Best Picture and for adapted screenplay, because like I said, this movie could have got nominated for more stuff. It may not have been for like the acting. That's fine. It could have been technical, like the cinematography, like
cinematography. Yep.
just the like editing, like just the technical stuff, like hell, the direct, like best directing in a film, like it's like even the boys, like you could have gave them to you, literally they could have been nominated for something, like
Yeah.
it could have been anybody's game, like you could have gave Brandon for best, like anything, best supporting, like Ethan for like best, like it could have went any kind of way. But I'm
I
just
think either.
happy
Go ahead.
I'm just happy that this film did get acknowledged this award
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
Like it did now. Like I just wish, like I said, I just wish that it could have been more for like the Oscars, but at least they got at least the film got their foot in the door.
Yeah.
People are like heard about the movie. Y'all are hearing it from us that like just if you have the time in your day just to spare 140 minutes, mind you, if y'all don't know what that is, that's like a little bit over 2 hours. If you got a little bit over 2 hours in your day, just to give it up, just to watch a movie, just to let you know, you will need to pay attention. You will need all your focus on the movie. But if you can spend 140 minutes out of your 24 hours, give this movie a chance.
And even if you can't spend 2 hours of your day, find time to spend 2 hours of your day. That's the
Exactly.
kind of movie this
That's
is.
that's the part right there.
Educate yourself on something that you may not ever heard of, something that you don't know. Educate yourself on a part of Black history, unfortunately, and a part of American history, because it still is a part of what went on back then. And it's a great film. You'll come away from it thinking, wow, I can't believe this happened. I feel sorry for those boys. Thank God we are onto better circumstances now. And you'll probably go down a rabbit hole like me, thinking and typing and wanting to see what's going on. But definitely make time.
Yes, it can be a little jarring, just a little bit, but I
Oh yeah,
promise you, like, just to be able to feel that effect of like walking in someone else's shoes, feeling their perspective, it just gives you like a different spin on a film, because this is the first time where I ever felt where I'm actually in that person's shoes. Like, you actually are work and you're like walking with this person. Like, you feel like every movement, because it's like we gotta realize like they are probably hooked up to a camera. Like, they're probably hooked up to something to make, to make them
yeah,
movements. Like, it was just a jaw dropping experience for me. I wish I could have saw it in the theaters. I'm like, yes, I
yeah,
saw it at home, but I mean, I'll still take it. It's just like one of those films where it's just like everything has you curious. Like every shot has you curious. Like, I may have to rewatch it myself just to like catch every little single thing, because it's a lot to chew on when you first watch it the first time. But I do love the fact that everybody's like performance wasn't like so like overly done. Like, everybody
yeah,
seemed very subtle. Everybody was like, it was subtle, but it was effective. Like,
yeah,
it was like they didn't have to do anything like huge, dramatical, or anything. It was just like how people act and respond to like everyday life, and how they're thrown into like brutal situations, and like having to work through that trauma, and then like having to go through life trying to figure out like what could have been, what would have been. Like, it's just one of those films where it's just like, these are the conversations that we still need to talk about.
exactly, exactly. And like you said, nobody was over the top. Everybody just played their part, played their role to perfection. Like, you're not gonna get some big Denzel or Washington over the top, masterpiece acting. You're gonna get what this movie called for, and that's exactly what each and every actor in this film did. And one part, when I went back and rewatched it, because I had to watch it twice, there's a part that really caught my eye. Like, man, I am this person. When he was a little kid and he fell out of the jungle gym and just do, like the camera just moved as he hit and fell, and I was like, oh, I felt that. Like, I felt that. So this movie will definitely have you going through the ring of emotions from anger, sadness, curiosity, and just all around wonder. So it is definitely one to catch.
Well, I have to agree with all of that. It's just, that was just one of them films. Like, yes, y'all, just like I said, you have a chance, give it a go. Was there anything else that you would like to add on to that, brother?
No, where is it streaming at? Tell them where they can catch it at. Cause I
Oh yeah. So if y'all have a chance to want to watch Nickel Boys, right now, if you guys have that MGM Plus subscription, you can catch it there. Or if you have Apple TV, Vudu, anywhere, you can probably rent it starting from $5.99. So it's cheap, y'all. You can still catch it. It's like, I'm guaranteed it'll probably be on TV soon if you don't have that MGM Plus. But if you got $6 to spend in 140 minutes, give it a go. I promise
yeah.
you, y'all will not be disappointed.
And look, in order to get your money's worth, if you got $6, watch it once and then watch it again. You don't caught a great movie twice for $6. That's cheaper than the movie. So y'all catch it.
All right, y'all. And that's it for our episode. We hope you enjoyed the conversation. And if you have any ideas or questions or are interested in being a guest, please email us at chantel.ashford@hotmail.com or the hazel-eyed movie guy at yahoo.com. We're excited to catch you all in our next episode, where we will dive into Unpopular Opinions Movie Edition, where no film is off limits from our popcorn. Plus, don't miss our segment, Make It Make Sense, when we unravel the most perplexing and bewildering moments in cinema to uncover what really went wrong. Get ready for a fun ride. So, as we say here at Popcorn and Perspective, always watch, love, and keep. Watch the movies, love the movies, and always keep them with you.
Until next time.
Later.